I think it speaks to one of the greatest things about television. It creates this really, really deep investment. I think because of the connection between the viewers and the characters. There's an episode of This American Life where David Rakoff references a medical study that finds that the chemicals, the brain chemicals that are fired from watching episodic television are the exact same brain chemicals that are fired by having actual friends. It's experientially the same thing.
Actual friends.
In the book, he has the luxury of being able to really dig into some of the details, which depending on who you are and what you like, you might find really fascinating or you might find boring. But like, I actually really like that kind of stuff, but I realize that even as someone who likes it, if you get really granular and you go deep on all the details in a scene like that, like the scene is gonna die on its feet. It's just gonna be, it's gonna take the air out of everything. So you really need to pare it down to the absolute essentials that people need to understand the parts of it that pertain to the story and the emotional components of the story. So you're trying to get it like right down to the line of the barest minimum that you can get away with without having it turn into, I don't know what the hell's going on. And that's going to be different for different people.
Yeah, I think people talk about faithfulness with an adaptation, and you know, faithfulness in a marriage is a good thing. Like that's a good thing. Faithfulness in adaptation, it depends on the work you're adapting. It could be good, it could not be good. One of my favorite adaptations, movie-wise, is Under the Skin, which is a beautiful movie. I like the book, but the movie's very different, and I think much more memorable than the book. And he really took it in a completely different direction, which was exciting and fun.
So, Zone of Interest, the novel was a dark satire. It was the darkest possible comedy you could imagine. And he just decided, I'm going to make this story about, the story parameters are about the same. He's like, I'm not going to try to be funny. I'm not going to try to be clever. I'm not going to try to be witty. He just stripped all that out of it and made a very straightforward version of the same story. The original, the book is kind of great in its own way, and the film is kind of, I thought, kind of great in a different way.
As we're trying to come up with what season 2 might feel like, you can now hear the actors speaking the words, and that's a huge luxury to have.
One of the real pleasures of working on a show that continues for multiple seasons is getting to know the actors so well and starting to write for them. I always think about Lena Headey when she came in to audition for the Queen. Like, everyone before her had played Cersei as such an like evil ice queen, like very on the nose, kind of like, and some of them were good actresses, but they were all doing it the same way. And then she came in and there was a strangeness, like she had like a weird energy, and she was funny, and we hadn't really thought about Cersei as being funny before this, and she was really captivating, you know? And so as soon as we saw that, I think it changed the way we saw the character. And because then you're not just, you know, playing off the character from the books, which was a really interesting character, but also you're trying to meld that to this woman who's just a force, like a force of nature as an actor.
I think it's important to be able to diagnose yourself, to just be very critical of yourself and in finding what works for you, and saying, this is a good situation, this is a toxic situation for me, this is a place where I can learn from, this is a place where I am absorbing good things, and even if it seems like a sideways path towards something, you know, none of us are fully developed, you know, as in whatever discipline we are, unless you're a gymnast or something, you know, like, yeah, at this age, you know, you still have a long way to go, and I'm still learning, and the decisions you make and the places you put yourself in can have a really strong influence on how well you develop.